Another thing I want to ask you about, obviously from the coaching role especially, is the utility in Valorant, because if people don't know, that is actually a really weird topic in CSGO, because effectively, like I've told the story on this podcast before that no one even used Molotovs for like the first 3 years of the game or something mental, even though we actually found out now they're amazing. And then second, in fact, they even had to nerf them, they were too good, but just no one used them. And then even more along similar lines, it genuinely wasn't until, I'm not joking, like 2017 and 2018, people started properly like making the utility OP. And so what's crazy is, like a famous example is this. It's also because we didn't, by the way, really track specific utility. We did like damage overall, but we didn't do like you didn't have the stats on HLTV, like how many people are flashed or flash percentage or the grenade. And so what we found out was like even some things that sound so stupid, they sounded stupid at the time, but they sound even worse now, Sliggy. Like you remember that famous one where it's like Flusher from Fnatic had like absurdly high like grenade damage compared to everyone. So someone asked him, right, and in true Flusher fashion, he just said something like, I just only throw the grenade when I know they're there. But that sounds so simple, right? But that's not what anyone did with grenades, because since grenades are rubbish in CS, people just used them like sort of almost to like by process of elimination, like is there someone there,
like
or you know, yeah, or I'm just going to leave, so I'll do it in case they're there, you know. And essentially, Flusher, his 200 IQ move was, is he there? Well, I don't know yet, so I won't throw it. And then he would just throw it when he was, and that would just do more damage. And so similarly, right? Flashbangs is another concept. So like people really didn't expand that. It seems like in Valorant people have gone way deeper into that now. I mean, obviously with the ability, it's somewhat part of the game, right?
Yeah, I think it was just like a learning curve, especially for me. Like I watched so much on like of Counter-Strike, so I kind of like looked and I saw like what you're saying. I saw so many different metas. I saw like Astralis actually using like double nades, so that finally when I'm observing, my overviews look good. So like I was loving that. Like sure. It was nice to actually see like utility and like people actually thinking about the game. So yeah, I just kind of took all of that stuff, like the org. The org was in the game for so long. The Crusade Molotovs was in the game for so long, no one used it. So that's like when we started the game, we're like, let's just first of all. Like Raze as an example, I would do like boombot lineups. Like let's just do lineups from day one. Like let's make the best use of it. Let's just kind of learn from the games before and just make them better. So
it's so funny to me because in Rainbow Six, whenever someone who had a background in Counter-Strike, for example, would watch a Rainbow Six game, they would always be so confused as to like why in Rainbow Six you don't use flashbangs to flash people. Okay. And like in Siege, it's like super intuitive because there's a lot of defensive utility that needs burning. So whether that's like something that covers a door and passing through it will burn the utility, or like there are certain pieces of utility that will swallow projectiles. And so people use flashbangs to burn utility, and then they can use their grenades and they can pass through doors and things like that. And so that's what flashbangs are for in Siege, because like the value you get from actually flashbanging something is not higher than the value of doing that. And so in Siege, like it's got its own little like thing. And so people will come and like watch it from other games and they'll be like, why aren't you using flashbangs that actually flash people? It's like, no, because they figured out that a long, long time ago that that's not the best way to use them.
Sure. Yeah, I also think like a big learning point for everyone was there's a Korean team called Vision Strikers. So like everyone would kind of put the basics of CS, like me included, like attack sides, CT sides. Like our defense sides were very stale, and then you kind of like these guys came along within like the first 2 months, and they're doing the most crazy XX on like the defense side where they take map control, and everyone's just looking at it like, oh, this is like what we should have been doing. This is how you play it. So like they definitely sped up a lot of it as well. Like all of their util usage. Dude, there was a period for like
Flash and dash.
Yeah, there was a period for like between like 4 to 6 months where everyone would just handpicked these guys' strats and just used them just on defense. Like everyone would just call it Vision Strikers, and it would just be like a flash dash or like stun dash, and like you kind of just saw everything to come together on the defense side, and everyone's like, well, this is how you play it. So yeah, it's nice to see the progression, but it happened fast in this game, really.
Want to see more cool, funny, interesting clips based on topics from my content? Well, subscribe to this channel then, or, you know, be a pleb and don't.